Hello everybody, welcome back to another Let's Build Alton Towers episode. We are continuing with where we left off last time, which is continuing with the CBeebies land. Now, the plan for this episode is to finish CBeebies land. I want to get this whole area finished within this episode, and I'll be sort of spending all the time doing buildings and theming the flat rides around here, there's a boat ride to go in. And as we discussed last time, we still have the track ride, monorail / whatever ride you want to call it, to build around the rest of the land. Now, my aim is to finish that so that once CBeebies land is done, we can then make a move either further up here towards X sector, as I've said in the past, which is the Smiler and Oblivion, or we go over this way towards Mutiny Bay, where we have the sort of pirate themed area, followed by Wickerman. Now, just so you're aware, I'm currently at 44% on a PS5. There's about 10,000 pieces in the park at the moment. There's obviously a lot more pieces going into this sort of park than there is maybe on a standard park that I build. I wouldn't be spending all this time making signs like this. But that's just that's just part of the task really. So we'll see how the build counter goes, and we'll kind of make do and adjust to suit. So I'll make a start on the rest of CBeebies, and I will come back when I've got a bit of a progress update for you. Okay, so first update. First observation. The Postman Pat ride is really popular. I don't know why. It's super popular. There seems to be a lot of people wanting to deliver post for Postman Pat. However, that's it is what it is. Just a weird observation. Anyway, as we go down here, so we have the lunchbox, which is a restaurant. It's a big open place inside, but I thought just sticking with things to make it easier, I'll just do some catering places outside and then a staff room. And then I've drawn the CBeebies characters here. You'll see a lot of these weird like yellow egg shapes around the CBeebies area. So yeah, they sit up there. This is just called the lunchbox. And then if we go over here, we have a little pool of water. I still need to finish off a bit of decoration around here because we have one of these egg characters fishing just here. So yeah, there's a little bit more decoration there. And to be fair, there is with a lot of this area at the minute. What I've done is I've just kind of got the basics in and then started to go around and detail it. And that's my sort of plan, and that's the approach I'm going to take. Here we have a bubble go round. Now, this is the first ride that I've come across that I can't really replicate in the park. So essentially, the bubble go round, it's like a merry-go-round, but even more junior, even more suitable for young children. There are like stationary bikes and cars that children can sit in, and the parents can sit in the middle where the platform doesn't move, to just keep an eye on their children. So I couldn't really fit. There was nothing else I could really go for. I didn't want to put an actual carousel in there or merry-go-round because I didn't want the fancy lights and the structure to come with it. So I figured that this was probably the best ride to put in, even though it doesn't really replicate it that well. The only issue I have is that this ride is built on a slant, which made it a little bit more annoying down here because I've had to try and put the rocks and hedges and bushes in. But it is what it is. It's not going to be a perfect replica because I can't actually build that ride. So yeah, so that is the bubble go round with the little structure there. Just here, now this is where you'll see that the detailing comes later on. We have Charlie and Lola's moon squats and something. I can't remember the full name, which is essentially, it's like an interactive house. So you can go in there and there's like different things that, you can do on like screens and stuff, take toddlers in and they can just sort of like interact with things. So I've got the basic outline of the building done. There's a bit more decoration to be done on the building. But again, this building is just going to be a front. There's not going to be anything inside. I'm just doing a front because it's not a ride. It's just a fun house, really, or like an interactive room. So I've got the structure of the building done. Over here we have Justin's Pyomatic Factory, I think it's called. So Justin is one of the presenters on CBeebies. Does a lot of sign language and stuff. And I'm not quite sure what goes off in here, but again, I think it's more of like a show, more of like an experience than a ride. So again, this building is just going to be a front. But I've got the building shape up. I just need to do the detail in terms of doors and signage on it. I do wish the guests would pay attention to the fencing. I think the fencing in the game, it should be, if the guest gets to a fence, they have to turn around or move, because otherwise you get this happen. But, it is what it is. A little toilet block there. And then just here, what I've just started to build is the In the Night Garden ride, basically. It's just like a boat ride, and you go around and I'm pretty sure In the Night Garden is quite a universal or quite a global TV show because it's made up of just gobbledygook, basically. The names like Macca Packa and stuff like that, and the characters are really weird. There's Upsy Daisy and all sorts like that, and I'm pretty sure that it is one of the biggest children's TV shows. So this is the In the Night Garden. I've got to go around and do the decoration for it because there's a few scenes where you go past characters, but it's not a very big boat ride. And what I have done is I've sunk it into the ground, and then I've had to go around and manually do the terrain work so that the water shines through. Which, if you see the tunnel down here, I have got rid of most of the terrain. There is bits where it hangs in, but I can make do with that. I can live with that. That's the In the Night Garden ride. And then from there, this path basically goes round this side of In the Night Garden, goes down. There's one or two attractions down here. There's a park. And then as you go down here, you come back out and you join a path that comes all the way back round here. And then the path also leads down back to the Octonauts coaster, which, another observation, very, very popular. This queue is bigger than Spinball Whizzer, and this ride is dreadful. This ride is absolutely dreadful, and it's a bigger queue than Spinball Whizzer. They need to sort out the guest preferences in this game. They really do. So that is where we're at. As you can see, there's a lot of terraforming to be done here. I can change as much of this as I need to. You'll see here, if I want to flatten this area out, I'll just make this massive like that. And then from there, all I will do is just go, right, I want that flat. And then just get rid of it all. That's my plan from there, is to just kind of change the terraforming as and when I need to. And then this road will extend around this way. This is the other thing. So the scaling of the buildings and the rides in the game isn't quite to scale in terms of the road, but I'm more bothered about getting the rides correct than the road. So this road actually this is the back of CBeebies. So this road literally just goes straight out to the main road that goes around the park to get you into the main entrance. Unfortunately, because of the scaling of some of the rides, this ride is a lot bigger than it needs to be, etc. I'm going to have to make an adjustment and just bring this road round the back once I've built it. But I'm not too fussed about that. If that's all I've got wrong so far, I can live with that. The road isn't the concern to me. I want to get the rides and attractions right so people can relate to it. So I will join you again shortly when I finish kind of detailing up these little bits and finishing off pointing some more attractions down this side of CBeebies before joining back round to the main area. So I will see you again in a short moment. Okay, so I was going to do a little bit more before I give you another quick update, but something just happened that I really wanted to show you, and I didn't want to save the game, open it back up, and it go. So just before I show you that, as you can see, the boat ride in the Night Garden has grown a lot. Now, that is because when I actually opened up Google Maps and looked at the aerial shot, I realised I hadn't made it anywhere near big enough to fit the scale to make sure everything fits in properly. So the boat ride actually comes down to about halfway down the Postman Pat. I was about to call it Peter Pan then. Postman Pat ride. So that I've had to extend quite a bit, and I've just put some more trees in there for now. There will be a few more decorations going in, but I didn't want to start making all of them and then have to adjust the ride again. So that is how that's going for now. Built this little. This used to be a windmill. Now it's just some random house. You can do something in there, but it's not a ride or anything. It's just a random building. Ignore this wall for now. The wall will be changing slightly once I get the buildings lined up. This building down here. This is like a gift shop for CBeebies, and this building is a science-based building on the TV show Nina and the Neurons, which is like a science-based TV show for CBeebies. So that is that. Obviously, you've seen in the Night Garden station, and then down here towards the back we have the back end of the park. The path is a little bit messed up. I need to just try and sort that. But as you all are aware, and a lot of you have sympathised with me over the pathing in the game. To try and get the right shape for the area, it's very, very difficult on areas like this where it's not level. So I am going to have to live with a few gaps. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to kind of hide it. So yeah, I'm going to have to live with that, but it's not the end of the world. Down here, so this is the very top of the park now. So we've got a staff owner, we've got a spray painted road, and that is the road out of the park for the staff. And then if we follow this round, we get to Mr. Bloom's allotment. So Mr. Bloom, I believe, is like a farmer, or he does a lot of stuff with with plants and vegetables and stuff. So this is his allotment that you can go and walk around. And I believe there's a show there as well. I've just put some viewpoints in there just to get the guests in here admiring the flowers, because they've got nothing better to do in this park. And now they've realised it's boring, so they're going back. This is the allotment. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. So, first of all, how do you like my drop towers? So these are child drop towers. They're not very tall at all. And so obviously all the drop towers in this game, you can't adjust the height of them, which I just think is ridiculous, that you can't build a drop tower the height that you want it to. You could on the old Roller Coaster Tycoon days, but yeah, there we go. So this is called Peter Rabbit's Hippity Hop. So it is Peter Rabbit based, hence the bunny ears on top. There's a bit more decoration to be done here. But what I have had to do is I've had to build a bit of a queue line just to kind of show it as an outline. But look at this guy's hair. Has anybody ever come across that hairstyle before? I've never seen any staff member with a rainbow hair colour. I mean, I love that. I still can't stand the beard. The beard looks horrendous, but I love his hair colour. It's incredible. Look at it. So anyway, that's why I've stopped to give you a bit of an update now. So basically, what the plan is, I will finish off making the Peter Rabbit Hippity Hop. There is then down here. There's a bit more. This is just kind of walking around the edge still. And then as you get down to this section, there is a adventure park with some swings and some, just play park equipment in that I'll be kind of hand making, and then using the shapes to make it like a colourful floor. There's then a flat ride, something about Zoomsters or Vroom, something like that. And the Twister was probably about as close as I could get to it. Again, there's not many child-friendly flat rides in the game. There is the teacups, however, there is actually a teacups ride in Alton Towers in Mutiny Bay, so I wasn't going to put two of them in, so that's why I've gone for that. And then over here there's like an outdoor event space for some food and catering, and then you get back round to the rest of CBeebies and it joins up with everywhere else. We've got a sensory garden to build down here, and I think other than that is about it. And then obviously to just complete the Get Set Go monorail. This is definitely going to be the longest episode it's going to take me to film, because it's not, it's not straightforward. There's a lot of pieces to go in. There's a lot of scaling up and making sure things fit. But as I say, I want to get CBeebies finished. I want to be able to tick that section off and then move on to another part of the park. But as you can see from the overall shot there, it is definitely filling up. You can see the spaces we've got to fill, and yeah, I'm excited to see what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm really pleased with how it's turning out already, to be fair. I'm also looking forward to the guests being able to use more places for food and drink, because as you can see at the minute, they are getting very, very popular down here, and the staff are very overworked. This guy's jumping about like a maniac, because there's a limited option at the moment, and everybody keeps walking from there all the way up to the Postman Pat ride, realising that the Postman Pat ride is a full queue and then turning round. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. As I say, I've got the buildings outlined, I've got the boat ride outlined. It's just a case of now adding the smaller sections around the outside and then going back and adding a bit more detail. So yeah, give me a couple of hours and I will, I say a couple of hours for me in real time, a couple of seconds for you watching this, and I shall be back with more progress. So see you in a mo. Well, after a very, very long time, I have finally, I believe I have anyway, finished CBeebies Land. This is probably the biggest amount of time I've spent on any episode so far, just because there's so much theming and so many different small pieces to do. Reason I'm starting over here, I just want to show you what I've done to add to my build. I've deleted the path. If you remember, we had the long path that kind of went, you can see where it went, to be fair, on the grass. It went all the way back to the entrance. I have deleted that to sort of save up a bit of percentage on the build counter, so everybody coming into the park is using the monorail. To do that, I had to put a gate in here, because otherwise the guests wouldn't go on the ride without going through a gate. So the gate's there, they come through, they join the monorail, and then they come into the park. I've not seen any issues within the park coming back. I'm assuming the guests are going back to the entrance okay on the monorail. But yeah, so everybody coming in has to use that, and it saved me about 2 or 3% on the build counter. So yeah, that's where we are with that. Now, if I go down here, what I will probably do is I'll probably go into Plipcam mode, because I want to see it from a guest's perspective. So if we go down here, so obviously everyone's coming out of the exit there of the monorail. I have put I've put a bit of a support around here, but a bit of a fence, because there is one round the middle section in real life. So yeah, that is now in there, and I'm just going to select this woman here. As you can see at the bottom, I'm on 56%. So yeah, I'm thinking this park is going to be over 3 maps is what I'm thinking it will be, because I think I will be able to do X sector as well in this map. So alongside CBeebies we'll have X sector. We will then do a new map for the Dark Forest and Cloud Cuckoo Land as it once was known. It's now the world of David Walliams, but as I think I said previously, I'm not going to do the David Walliams stuff. I'm going to keep it as it was before. And yeah, so I've got the Dark Forest there, and then in the final park will be Mutiny Bay, Wicker Man, Katanga Canyon, Duel in Gloomy Woods, and then Nemesis and Galactica is how I think I'm going to spread it. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, I'm at 56% here, so I'm doing okay so far. So yeah, we'll just keep walking down here till we get down to CBeebies Land. I do wish the guests wouldn't all take the same path. I do wish it was a bit more randomised, as you can see, but I think when we have more attractions, they'll spread out a little bit. So here we are, CBeebies Land. What I will do once I've done the once I've been around and showed everything, I'll put a few kind of images at the end to show you like the real life version and what I've built, etc., so you can see the similarities. So we will go we'll go through the main section first. As you can see here, we've got music playing. Walking alongside the Postman Pat parcel post that we built in the last episode. So yeah, I mean overhead you can see the Get Set Go Treetop Adventure ride that I'd built the station for before, and now that everything's done, I've been able to build that around. I wish it was thinner. I wish I could put the actual similar tracking to what is in the actual ride, but that's as best as I can do at the minute within the contents of Planet Coaster. I'm still quite happy with the layout of it. I think it works quite well. I just wish it wasn't quite as thick as the track, but there we go. So we have a little clock tower building here. Obviously we've got Postman Pat to the right. Let's walk through here, and we have Nina's lab. So this is from the TV show Nina and the Neurons, which is like a science TV show. Yeah, as you can probably guess, it's a science lab. It's got some coloured lines on the floor there. You know, anything that looks a bit scientific is basically in there. Here we've got some just some shopping outlets. Again, this is like a really big shop inside, but I'm not wasting build pieces on decorating out an entire shop for the size of this building. So that's all I'm doing with that for now. Here we have Bubble Go Round, which, as I mentioned before, obviously this is kind of a replacement. This isn't the exact ride that's in there, but it's as good as we can kind of hope for. Around here we have Charlie and Lola's Moon Squirters and Green Drops, and what a weird name! What a weird name! I've never been in here. I just know that it's some sort of like experience building. You go in, it's like a fun house. So yeah, I've never been in here, but that's what it's called, and it's some very weird patterns. And yeah, so that's Charlie and Lola's building. Over here we have Justin's house Pie-O-Matic Factory. Again, I think this is more of like an interactive building for younger children, and obviously I've just got different funky coloured doors. And we'll go over this way. Now this is the first ride that obviously you saw as well earlier on in the episode, the In the Night Garden boat ride, which has expanded and is now fully themed. I won't take you on that. What I might do is I might put up a separate POV video, but I won't take you on that because it is quite a long ride. I'll show you the overview afterwards after we've been running Plipcam mode. And then obviously you saw this building. I put a staff room there just so that the staff and them shops haven't got to go far. Right, and then this is the back of the park. So the road obviously comes up here as you've seen, and there's not much in here. This is just like a wooden fencing. Now if we go down here, we get down to Mr. Bloom's allotment, which is just here. And we have the viewpoints of it, so guests can actually come down here and look at the allotment if they really want. Just here we have Peter Rabbit's Hippity Hop, just 2 junior drop towers. They're very small, so yeah, that's they're my little drop towers. I think they work quite well, and I think they work for like a Peter Rabbit themed ride. And then I've just put my own little fencing there as to where I think the the sort of end of the ride would be before you go join the main path again. There's obviously the boat ride, as you can see going past. If we go down here, past the security man, we get to what's this guy's name again? Tree Fu Tom's training camp. So I've built a bit of a play park. So we've got different logs that you can kind of walk on like that and go over the bridge. That was fun. There's a tyre swing there. There's one of these things, I don't know what you call these. You stand on there, you sit on it, and then you fly over to the other end. And then up here, if you got the ladder up there, we can go down the slide. So yeah, I've done that, and then I've just used shapes for the floor to make it colourful. So yeah, so that is Tree Fu Tom's training camp. Over here we have the Vroomsters ride, which is just another flat ride. It's nothing really special, just a flat ride that sits in the corner. Then we have the Furchester Hotel Live. Again, it's an indoor show, it's an indoor interaction building. Very colourful, as you can see. So that's what that is. And then there's a queue out the side of the building for that, which I have built. Obviously, no one's actually going to use it, but I've just kind of fenced this area off really. But like I say, no one walks around that bit anyway. So that is that section. This is now the bottom of the boat ride again of In the Night Garden, and we're back at that building again that we walked past earlier. Then, if you come through the big fun Showtime tunnel, we get to sort of like an event space. Now in here, there's some like food and drink outlets. There's loads of benches where you can sit down. There's a live stage and screen that people sit and watch a show at. So I've just put a screen there. I've tried to use the metal roof, the curved metal roofs, because the roof is kind of like canvas built on poles, and that's as best as I can get to like a curvy canvas style. So I've got that in, and just some flags to decorate with. But I think that looks quite nice actually. I think that does work quite well, and this is quite popular because a lot of people use this as a cut through to get back to the Octonauts roller coaster adventure here, and then we're over at Spinball Whizzer. And then obviously we have the queue here for Treetop Adventure, the Get Set Go Treetop Adventure. I'm just going to queue jump there, go up and in, and we have Get Set Go. We have a traffic light. Now the traffic light, as you can see there, it flashes red, amber and then green. Annoyingly, the lights stay on the whole time. It's just the actual flashing of it changes when the trigger sequence goes, which is a little annoying. But it is what it is. I've got a traffic light in there. That's all that matters really. This is one of the weirdest station buildings I've ever seen in a park. You'll see the lights in a second. Yeah, look, red amber go. This is one of the weirdest station buildings I've ever seen in a park because it's very open. There's just kind of fencing. It is like supposed to be like a treehouse theme, but it is a weird one. But still quite a good little station. What I've done to make to do the here, I've just put trees upside down. So I've just got some of the really tall trees. And I've just flipped them upside down to make it look like the treehouse effect really. And then just down here we have the sensory garden, which is kind of a place for interactive stuff for kids. So the TV show Something Special, which is on CBeebies, is presented by a guy called Justin, who has a character called Mr. Tumble, and he does like loads of sign language, and he basically talks and has kids with disabilities on his show and gets them involved. So this is kind of a place for for children who basically enjoy sensory interactive ideas and games. So this is just a really small area just here. So I've just got shapes, got some TV screens with different colours on. In the real park, he's doing sign language and stuff. So and then we're back at the start of CBeebies Land. So what I'll do is I'll zoom out so you can see it from a bird's eye view. But I am very happy with how that's turned out. It is, I've put a lot of effort into that, and I hope you can see the progress that has been made on that, because it's very it's been very time consuming, as you can see from a lot of the different theming to be done, but I think it's definitely been worthwhile to get it all right. Pathing is a bit of an annoying issue, but it's one of those things. We all know about it, and I'm not building square paths everywhere just to make it work. So we'll just have to get around that. So this is all of CBeebies Land, just from a bird's eye view there, just so you can see it all. Obviously, the In the Night Garden boat ride takes up a large footprint of that. So that just kind of goes through trees, etc. And you saw how that finished before, in terms of with the book at the end. It's got a few different shapes, a few different characters around there, but mainly just kind of going through trees. And yeah, as I say, do let me know what you think of that. As I say, I do think that is a pretty accurate representation of the park, or of the area of the park. And yeah, it's a nice feeling to be able to tick that off, really. To be able to say that CBeebies is done now. There you can see what space that's taken up for 56% of the build counter. So what my plan is now is I am going to extend down here, and I'm going to hopefully try and squeeze in the Smiler and Oblivion down this way. I think I can just about do that. By the time I get to the very edge of the park, I think I'll be able to fit them both in. So so that's my plan for the rest of this map. And I think once I do that, that'll be at nearly 100%, because the obviously coasters take up a large footprint of the build counter. I may be able to do the glitch to kind of expand on it, but who knows at the minute? Who knows? We'll just stick to doing X sector, and we'll see where we get to after that. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed making that, and I'm really proud and really pleased with how that's turned out. So yeah, I shall see you next week at 7 p.m. again for the start of X Sector. So yeah, if you have enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new and want to stick around for the rest of the series. And I shall see you next Thursday. Goodbye.